Hey everybody, welcome to the Taz and Yashini show. Today we're gonna be talking about enforcement. And this is a little bit more to put out there for you guys, for the people.
Peace and love to everybody. Peace and love to the chat. Peace and love to the panel. Thank you, everybody that's joining us. Glad to have you guys here. We have a great one for you today under the title How to Correct Your Status. This is going to be a good one. I have a lot of questions. I hope the chat has a lot of questions. We're going to get into it off the top. Let me start off with the chat real quick since it's something that we don't always do that at first. So we do have Universal Empress in the building. Let's go. Good subject. I agree, sis. This is the subject that coincidentally is something that I was just informed that something that I'm dealing with. This might be the answer for it. So I'm intrigued myself. We have Jasmine also in the building. She says peace to everyone. We have Nathaniel Bay. Is what I'm talking about. Let's go. I know this is your kind of subject, brother, so I appreciate you for being here. We have lawful versus legal. He says he's present. He says, Sean, you be going in, bruh. Hats off to you. Salute to the chat and panel. We appreciate you for being here. We got the Empress Yasini University in the house as always. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you. We have the goddess herself, Heather Bell. Peace and love to the family. Peace and love to you, sis. Thank you for
Peace
being
and love.
here. We have the social at Paul Thomas. He's peace and light. Thank you so much for joining us. He's on Facebook. Thank you, gratitude. Hope you enjoyed the show. The Freedom Bohemian 1776. I'm going to do this soon. I hope so, brother. I hope it adds value to the journey you already embarking in. So with that said, Brother Sean, thank you for joining us one more again. Sister Yasini, it's always great to have you here. Sis, can we start with you with the Divine Feminine and just could you tell the people who you are, where they can find you at?
Yes. Yasini in the house on YouTube. Yasini University on YouTube. Those are my two channels. Yasini University is the backup channel. So go subscribe to that too, because you never know when you're going to need that second channel. Also, you can find me online at www.yasiniuniversity.com. That's my website. Taz is partnered in to that website with Taz Studio Productions. And if you haven't been there yet, go in there, check out our healthcare products, our t-shirt line, my jewelry store, Simply Stoned, and just feel your way around and understand that Yasini University, think of it as like a mini mall. So if
Hmm.
you got products that you want for sale or something that you want to offer to the university, come on in. All
Thank
right.
you so much, sis. Peace and love to that. Peace and love to that. Appreciate you. And Sean, thank you for joining us again. But brother, every time we come with you, we have you as a guest on the show. It's always explosive. I always learn something. I'm embarking on the journey, probably not as fast as you are, but I appreciate you for that. Can you tell the people who you are, where they can find you, please?
My name is Shawn. I'm just out here trying to figure it out and trying to give some information out to the people. You can find me on Instagram at I Got the Sauce. You can find me at on TikTok as Boss Mafia LLC. If you got any questions or anything like that, just DM me.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for that. So with that said, brother, how to correct your status? I'm gonna let you take the floor and just lead us on this journey because I'm as intrigued as you are, and I'm hoping that it could help everybody as much as is looking like it could probably help me. So please.
All right. Let's start. Let me see if I can find it. I'll find that later. All right. So let's start with what is status correction?
Is
Status correction is basically when you were born, they gave you something called a SEO or a SO. It's a state something enterprise. I have to look it up. It's a state-owned enterprise. That's the name of it. That's the legal definition of a SO. They gave you it with the same legal name as you. So status correction is just telling the government and putting it on notice that you are the natural living person and that is an actual company, right? So there's a bunch of different steps that you can do to do it. The ones I'm just going to discuss the ones that I've went over today and the ones that I'm currently doing and currently going through. All right, so the first step you want to do, let me see if I can pull this up really quick.
Yeah, let me know if you need to share the screen or whatever. And what is your Instagram again? This is Heather Bell was asking for you. You said I got the sauce.
Yeah, but the O is it's a zero instead of a O.
Oh, okay.
And the is TH. It's IG0TTHASAUCE. I got the sauce.
Can we put it on a banner,
Yeah,
Taz?
I'm trying. So you said IG 0 TDAHOUSE.
Yeah.
I got the sauce.
I should have found it on my computer. All right, so with the status correction, you're basically just telling the government who you are and what you are. The first step I would take is I will order my birth certificate. I will order a long form birth certificate. You want to get this and you want to get authenticated on the state level and on the federal level. This should make you the holder in due course of that security, and then you can control it. And you can write bonds and get it, and you can do stuff like that. I'm not going to go into that. That's more secure transactions. But that would be what you would be authenticating the birth certificate for. The next step I would do was lawfully change my name to its natural state. So on the Social Security Administration's website, the Social Security Administration does not recognize a middle name as a name. It only recognizes a surname and a given name. So technically, as a living person, you should only have a surname, which is your family name, which is the name that you were given when you were born, whatever your father's name is, and then your given name. Your given name would be your first name hyphenated, and then your middle name. So that would be your actual name. So I will put in and actually go and get my name legally changed to this format. After you get it changed to this format, you're going to want to change it with the Social Security Administration. The Social Security Administration is not going to change it unless you have a court order. So you have to have the name changed. They're going to give you a court order, and then you can send it to the Social Security Administration to get them to actually change the format on your Social Security card and start recognizing you as a living, breathing person instead of the corporation. Actually, what else was I going to talk about? All right. Also, let me find exactly what that one is. I should have signed on my computer. Actually, I think I'm gonna drop out and come back in on my computer so I can share my computer screen. I'm on on my phone right now, and it's not letting me share anything.
Yeah. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. You
All right.
got right.
And Taz, and while he do that, what Sean said was combine your middle name with your first name with a hyphen because Social Security don't like three names. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering even then, how do we get this first, middle, last name deal going on?
Right.
Anyway, and probably because we're always naming our kids after us,
Yeah.
and if there's boys and they're going to be junior, then you need the exact name. I don't understand why the Lee or Ann has to be put in there anyway.
Right. Well, I was curious. Anyway, I was curious when he mentioned that, so I googled it, and it does pop up in there. Under secureSSA.gov, which is a government website. I'm guessing it's a form RM10205 point 120. It says it does not matter if the middle name or suffix included, omitted, or incorrectly shown on a social security card. For purpose of NIH's legal name consists of the first or given name and the last or family
Mm-hmm.
name or surname that is used as a legal document. So yeah, he was the brother's back. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
brother. So yeah, I was curious when I seen that, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he was right on exact.
Right.
Yeah, it's actually on. They don't even recognize it. So when you send it in, technically you're clinically dead. Um, will you pull up the SESTA Act of 1666?
Okay. The who, where, when?
SESTA
Oh yeah.
CEST.
CEST.
It's either IU or UI. It'll correct you. CESTIU
Mm-hmm.
space QUE space VIE.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Of 1966,
Yeah, 1666.
1666. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Okay.
Sean, what's the form for the name change?
It's the SS5. It's either SS5 or the SS4. I can't remember which one.
Right.
I know one is for the name change. The other one is for uh building a trust or entity.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is the UK.
Yeah, it's a UK act.
Oh, it's a UK guy. Okay.
Yeah, because we never won our independence. We signed a treaty, like so. We're still technically under the crown. This is why we can be under maritime law because technically we're all British citizens and we're away from where we were supposed to be from. So basically, how they got law, they took a bunch of acts from a bunch of different people and they codified it and made it into a law. So this particular thing speaks about how people were going out to sea and they were getting lost and their property was basically just sitting there. So the government wanted the crown wanted a way that they can still use the property even though the beneficial owner isn't there. So they took it and they put it in a trust. They made a SOE, which is a state owned enterprise, which is your name in the all caps, and then they took it and they put it inside of a trust. which is the Cesta QV Trust. This trust is controlled by the government, and they administer it until the living person actually comes and says, "Hey, I'm competent and I can take over this." You're supposed to do it when you're 18, but most people don't do it. Most people don't even know this is here. But that act tells you about the Cesta QV and what it is and what you're supposed to do with it.
Okay.
So now that we kind of have an idea of the Cesta QV, which is basically it's a trust company. It's your estate. It's got many different names. It's basically the same thing. Since you know what it is, the next thing you want to do is you're going to have to do a couple pieces of paperwork. I would do an affidavit of identity. If you read the Identity Act, can you pull up the Identity Act?
The Identity Act,
Mm-hmm.
pre-affidavit of identity. Oh no, wait. Identity Act, improving of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This act explains what an ID has to have in it to make it federally accepted. So if you
Okay.
want, you can make your own ID and you can register your own ID. You can register your own identification. This act tells you exactly what has to be on your identification. If you don't know, just look at your ID and all the information that's on your ID is the state required information to go on your thing. But you want to do an affidavit of identity. This affidavit of identity is going to have your picture. It's going to have all the information on your ID on it. So it'll have your height, it'll have your hair color, it'll have all that stuff that you need on there. But it's going to have your true name, not your straw man name. It's going to have your true name and your true in its true format.
Okay.
You want to get that, and you want to take that and you want to get it registered and ran down on the Register of Deeds office in your county. That's going to put it on public notice so anybody can search it, anybody can look at it. It's basically telling everybody, hey, this is who I am. Now that you got that, if you have a passport, you're already in a better place because the passport should have your proper name. The passport form is put in surname, given name. If you actually pull out your passport, the very first name at the top, it says surname and it has your last name on it. And then it'll have your middle name and your first name as your given name. So that's your true identity of you, the living person. A passport will be your identity versus the driver's license will be the identity of the straw man because it's in all caps. It has the different names and it has first, last, it has all that.
Okay.
So basically, an affidavit is basically just it's a piece of paper sworn under the penalty of perjury that everything is true, and then you go point for point for point based on what it'll be. So it'll say affidavit of identity, and then it'll say I whatever your name is swear under the penalty of perjury that everything in this affidavit is true and correct to the best of my knowledge and belief, and it's not meant to mislead. And then you'll go step one will be my name is Shawn hyphen Andre semicolon Sims, Sims being my surname and Shawn Andre being my first name, and that'll be point one. And then point two will say something like I was born in Elkhart County. Like you want to get as specific as possible because I'm gonna show you a document later on when we talk. Well, I'll get to that later, but you want to get as specific as possible with the affidavit. Uh, I'm going to show you something to give you an idea of it in a minute. But after you do that, you
And
then want to get.
before you continue, brother, real quick, I didn't mean to cut you off or whatever, but we sometimes, you just have to take extra precautions because, I don't want nobody to come back and say, "Hey, listen, Taz and Sean and Sister Yasini is out here giving legal advice or any of that." Family, this is not legal advice, and I'm giving the disclaimer out right now that the material and information contained in this video is for general information purposes only. You should not rely upon the material or information about to be presented as a basis for making any business, legal, or any other decisions. The talent show and its affiliates are not legal advisors or consultants. Please make a consultation with a certified legal advisor like a lawyer for further advice. All right. With that said, brother, please continue. My apologies. I just had to make sure that that was out there because some people like to be funny about stuff.
Yeah, no
Go ahead.
problem. I forgot to say it. Yeah, I want to add. This is all stuff that I'm doing. I'm not telling you to do anything. This is stuff. This is why I'm calling up acts and stuff so you can go and read and actually put your due diligence in to find out what you're supposed to do in this process. This is just stuff that I'm doing. It might work, it might not work. When you're dealing with the government, it is. I got to go speak to a lawyer this week to figure out what my next steps are. So I would advise talking to legal counsel too, just so you can understand their part of it, because they're not reading the laws. I'm reading the laws. They're not reading the laws. They're reading cases. They're reading procedures.
Right.
So it's kind of a disconnect. So you got to kind of do your due diligence. You need to actually look and read some of this stuff.
Right.
All right, but so the next thing I did was I got a DBA. Doing business as, it's basically the same thing as registering your business. You're just letting the state know that this is a business. Like, I'm doing business as this name, and it holds more weight if you already have your name changed. Right now, my state, Tennessee, will not let me do a DBA. That they're blocking me, but Minnesota allows you to do a DBA online, and it's like $50, and they'll email you it and everything, and it's immediately. So you want to get a DBA on your state level, and then you want to get a DBA on the federal level. The federal DBA controls is the top DBA. Like, it's called a DBA in some states. It's called assumed name in some other states. So you could look up assumed name form or assumed name or DBA in whatever your state is. They'll pull it up. You want to register it on the federal registry too.
And so that's doing business as.
Yeah.
Because we all are doing business. We're just not calling it that. We're not.
Share my screen, Tez.
Yeah, most definitely. Go ahead, put it up.
Yeah. And is that automatically tying us to commerce or citizenship? Or
you're already in commerce because everything is already being done. So this is just basically separating the natural person from your commerce machine. Here's my assumed name filing for Minnesota. It's got the assumed name. It's got my living name. I didn't put the semicolon in it, but it's fine. It's got my living name. It says name holders, showing that I control the name. I put my power of attorney in it. We're going to discuss power of attorney when we get to the SBC process. It's my assumed name. From Minnesota, they send you like $50. It's like $50, and then you. This also came.
Are you saying you're your power of attorney?
Yeah. I'm power of attorney over my straw man, but we're gonna talk about that more in the SBC part of it, because it's gonna be majority of the process is just paperwork and filing the paperwork and getting it sent out there. I want to do. This is what it is. State-owned enterprise. It's a legal entity that is created by a government in order to partake in commercial activities on the government's behalf. That's your straw man. That's the actual definition. So you got to ask yourself, right? You got two birth certificates. You have the loan form birth certificate, which is the actual birth certificate and showing of you being born, and then you have the actual birth certificate, which is the actual registration. A lot of times these will have completely different dates. Like, you'll be born on one date on the birth certificate, on the certificate of live birth, but then your birth certificate 9 times out of 10 will be filed a couple of days later. Your birth certificate is prima facie evidence that this thing was created. That's the registration document creating your soul, right? All right, all right, all right. So then you need to where is it? I got it somewhere. I know I got it somewhere. PC.
I think the difference that I've noticed from how you're explaining things is that most people out here are telling you everything based on a, hey, you should do this, you should do that, or anything like that. But this is actually, from what I'm seeing, a process that you're applying on yourself. You're speaking from experience, which is always a plus. Just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, this is all stuff that I'm doing. All this is different documents about it. All right, so after you get the DBA, you want to do it on a federal level. The federal level is like $250 or like $300 or something like that. I haven't done that yet. I'm gonna do that like later on today. After you do that, you pretty much have the paperwork showing that you own the name. It's there's other stuff you can do, but you have once you have the birth certificate, so you have the registration of the actual soul. If you get your long form birth certificate authenticated, now you have holder in due course of your live birth certificate, and you have control of the name on both processes, on the state and the county level, right? So that will be that process. After that, you need to go into the secure party process. This process is outlined in the redemption manual. Um,
Okay.
there's some stuff. It's not a hard process. Like, it's not a hard process at all. So basically, what you want to do with that process is this is outlined in Article 9 of the UCC.
Okay, I keep saying that I'm gonna end up getting that book, bro. Because as much as I don't want to pay that because it's not a cheap book. It's
It's
like a,
not. It's like 300.
yeah, well, yeah. I found it for like 400. you
Yeah,
know, so it's up there, and the redemption manual is another one. Now I've been able to dig into it because Sister Yasini found a PDF version, but
of it. Mhm.
very uh,
Yeah, just do Cornell. It's free. You just gotta just Google search it. This is Article 9 right here. It talks about control of a deposit account. That's all your bank accounts are deposit accounts. Talks about how you can take control of that. All your bank accounts are secured by 250,000 by the FDIC mandatory, and those funds are supposed to be yours, and they're supposed to be made available for you to use in commerce, but it's not because you don't have control of your account. So this talks about getting control of your account. It talks about control of investment properties. It talks about getting control of letters of credit. This is about secure transactions. So it talks about securing your interests and attaching security interests to different things, right? So I would definitely go look into that. All right, so for the SPC process, you need a couple things. So the first thing and the most important thing is you need a security agreement between you and your straw man. I might be able to show my security agreement. Let me make sure it doesn't have my social and stuff on it. I haven't used it in so long. But I got a security agreement. I have a common law copyright, basically copyrighting my name. I have a hold harmless and indignant agreement, which I'll go over that too. Um, they talk about having to send the bond to the treasury. I'm not gonna do that. I mean, I don't have my birth certificate right now to do it anyways, but I'm not gonna do that. I kind of feel like that's a waste. The accounts and stuff are already set up. So Give me a second so I can see if I can show you guys this.
Oh, all right. Taz got some new toys.
Where is my security? There we go. There we go.
Yeah, depending on what
Oh yeah, I can't show the security agreement. It's got my social in it.
is
Uh,
it?
the, the security agreement is in. They have copies and stuff everywhere else. I think all the other stuff
Can you
I can
show
show
us a
you.
blank one? A blank
Uh, yeah, actually I can. I can show you. Hold on.
template?
Is it still showing my screen?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to create a whole folder just for this. This is ridiculous. How much loops and hoops you gotta go through just to be.
For real.
But Sean, while you're in the midst of doing all of this, and you know that the queen is dead and she's no longer a threat, and she's no longer able to protect the king now. Do you see significant changes being made to the British crown? And because this is who we're petitioning.
Yeah. I feel like honestly, I feel like this system has been set up for longer than the majority of us have been alive. Is this? It's not going to change.
It's not
It's
going to
actually
change.
going to get worse. They're going to switch it to digital. They're getting rid of the concepts of contracts. They're getting rid of the paper shit, which is going to fuck people up. All right. So basically, this would be the non-negotiable security agreement between you and your straw man. It'll have the date that you entered into it. It'll have your all your information filled in. Better. That's your security number. Your actual living name will be the secure party. Me, I have a PO box and I have a personal address. My personal address is private and no one gets it. Everyone gets my PO box, and my PO box is tied to my secure party creditor. Not my secure party creditor, but my straw man. So if you're gonna start a business and you're gonna do business, you should separate the address, right? You shouldn't have your straw man's address and your address being the same. So my straw man's address is the PO box, and then I have my home address. And they're two completely separate addresses. It gives you more separation. But all right, so this in a nutshell is just going to lay out that your straw man gives you everything. It gives you everything. Let me go down to where it lists. This is a dimly agreement. It's saying that they can't hold you. It lists the collateral. All proceeds, all proceeds, products, accounts, fixtures, crops, mine heads, wellhead with transmitted utility, etc. All rents, wages, income, all land, material, water, air rights, all cottage, cabins, houses, and buildings. It lists everything. Everything. Right? It's like 84 some things that go through. It lists everything that you could possibly own. Put in your security agreement. You could just copy this and change your information.
Right.
And it tells what happens if they default on it, which the default is between you and your straw man. So this the actual security agreement, this stuff right here, this is going to be private. You're not going to tell anyone your security agreement. So this is going to be between you and your straw man.
Mm.
All right. So now we're getting down to the power of attorney. The power of attorney, you're gonna run this with your register of deeds. This is basically just giving the power from your straw man over to you to be able to take control of it. I mean, you're already controlling it. This is just making a decree, putting something on the public record. It's your way of making a decree and telling everybody, hey, this is what I'm trying to do.
Man, imagine how they would feel if they got bum rushed with a whole race of people doing this. along
It's
with
happening. It's happening now. It's just a lot of people aren't doing it right. Some people are doing it right, so they're
what I'm saying,
rejecting the whole lot of people's stuff.
this added to their already
Mm-hmm.
criminal justice system problem, and man,
Because
it would break the system.
bankruptcy. It wasn't really. It will correct it. The national debt is money owed to we the people. No one will be poor. It would just correct the system. No one will be poor. It would be no control,
Hmm.
right? So
Right.
here's the common law copyright. You put in basically copyrighting your shit, copyrighting your name. Oh, that's not the copyright yet. That's just explaining. I'm gonna go down to the copyright. Here's the copyright, right? Saying that you copyright your all straps name, put everything in it. Boom, boom, boom. Dates, default terms, all that. You want to run this on the record too. You definitely want to run the copyright because if you want to sue people for violating your copyright, you need to run this on the record. So it's public knowledge. So everyone got it. Everyone can see it.
Mm.
And then we move down to the whole harmless. This agreement is basically just saying that they can't hold you at fault for anything that your straw man does. That's all it's saying. Any everything you want to run this on the public. You want to run this too. You want this out there on the one that you run. I would block out my social security number so they can't see the social security number because you're going to be running it on the public. So you don't want them to actually be able to see your social. But I will run this on the public so they can actually see it. Just white it out and then run it or something like that. That's another backup version of the whole harmless. Going to the UCC financing statement. The UCC financing statement, you can pretty much just um, copy and paste the stuff from a security agreement and put it in the actual financing statement, and then you can actually send them a copy of your security agreement so they can have a picture with it. Right? Tennessee. Tennessee started charging extra money now. They busting people heads for putting because we had this dude. His name was shit, what was his name? It was this dude. Anyway, they started finding out this stuff, and he got rid of child support because the child support, the whole system, that's a private company. That's not an actual government entity that you're paying. They're using secure, they're using secure transactions to put people in jail for not paying child support. So he went through the process to get rid of the child support thing. It was him and like five of his other white friends. These are like older white dudes that just read the law. Something happened and one of them got jammed up, so they started putting $6 million liens on judges, and like they leaned probably like the whole county of Tennessee, bro. It was like $72 million or something. Like they went wild, right? So they was leaning officials, they leaning judges, they leaned the police commissioner and the police chief. So they come scoop them up, snatch them up. They no warrant, no nothing. They snatch them up, they lock them up, right? So now they locked up, waiting for appeal. They're knowing this stuff. So there's certain stuff that you can say when you walk into a courtroom, and it's gonna change how they perceive you when you walk into that courtroom.
Oh yeah.
Saying stuff, and they kept kicking them out. They end up making a ruling for them without them being involved in it. Long story short, he went to jail for like 3 years and got out from doing this stuff. But he did the liens wrong. If you put a lien on someone, it has to be justified by an affidavit. You can't just put liens on people. You have to have an invested interest in something. If you just put a lien on somebody, that could hit you with a frivolous lien. He got messed up because he was hitting a whole lot of top officials, and he was putting like $6 million, $7 million liens on them. So now in the state of Tennessee, it's an extra fee. Like to put a lien on somebody, I think it's like $15. But depending on how much you put on them, they charge you for that too, which kind of fucked me up. So I did my UCC in New York. You can do it in Washington too. They do it. You can pay it online. All of them. Just because my UCC is for $100 million, Can I show that?
I haven't looked at the chat in a while, but are we losing anybody? Let me,
Oh,
cause I'm on full screen. But check this out. I'm starting. I'm with you, but now I'm starting to get lost.
What happened? I think my shit froze.
it's definitely a lot of information to
Yeah, it's a lot. It's really just paperwork.
yeah, that's what you have to know the right paperwork in order to do the
Okay, so obviously these paperworks are going to be done in steps and at different times.
I think my screen just froze. Honestly, all of the paperwork, majority of this paperwork is going to be your paperwork that you keep in your own personal files for it. I mean, you just do it when you do it, and then when you get it all done, take it down to the county register and get it registered and ran on the record. So like it's not like you have to do it in a certain order or whatever. Just get them done, and then when you get them all done, just take them down there. You can do it one at a time, or you can do them all together. Can y'all still see me?
yeah,
My,
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. What can
what the fuck is going
what
on?
can your straw man be accused of where you go to court and then you come in there and represent your straw man with these documents that's basically saying you can't touch me? Or I'm trying to okay, a scenario I get accused of um, fraud or writing a bad check or anything, and that accusation, because it's in the court, is really my straw man. Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
They really want to prosecute my straw man.
Mm-hmm. Who's
Okay,
the
and
injured party?
I would come along um, with my paperwork that's public, right?
Mhm. I mean,
And
it depends on. Okay, so it depends on what they do to you. Like if they hit you with a court case, you could literally just take this paperwork and put it in the court case, right? If they actually gave you something, if they gave you something, then they're trying to contract with you, so you can handle it just like a negotiable instrument.
and is that because is that's because we've really got no business in court. And like I said, like, unless we're bringing a lien on somebody
Mm-hmm.
or suing somebody who's violated our rights, we've got no business in the courtroom because we're sovereign over our government.
It's not majority of courts now. It's about money. It's not really about justice. So
Right.
the courts, depending on what they're trying to bring you up on, they don't really have a right to bring you up on that charge. But if you
That's
don't,
right.
you consent to it, and then you go to jail for it. So majority of stuff that happens to people is clearly is based on consent or your lack thereof. You did not stand up and say, "Hey, you can't do this to me." So they did it to you. If I walk in your house and I punch you in the face and I take your TV and you just let me, you just got robbed, right? Now, if you go tell the cops and get me arrested, then you did what you were supposed to do. But if somebody violates you and you don't have what it takes to stand up and be like, bro, you're not going to keep doing this, then you just keep getting violated. And it's going to go to the highest of level. One of the main things in law states that if you can't enforce your rights, you have no rights.
That's right. And so you see what I was reading. I tried to give you all the best glimpse of it, but it's called Common Law Handbook, and it's for jurors, sheriffs, bailiffs, and justices.
Mm-hmm.
The information in here is clearly stating that you ain't gotta be in no court. They
No.
should not be fucking with you.
If it's not an injured
They
party,
don't have
you
any.
should never go to court.
Yeah, they don't have any unless you're suing
Unless you
somebody else.
hit somebody or somebody hit you or you destroy something or you vandalize something or something like that, you shouldn't have to go to court. That
Right.
there's ways around it. But you have to understand that if you don't know the ways around it and you don't show up, you will screw yourself. So you got to educate yourself with the ways around it before you just be like, oh, I heard this dude on TV saying I ain't got to go to court, so I ain't going. Like it's
Right.
not that simple. Like you
Exactly.
actually have to say something. You actually have to let them know that you object to this.
Right. You do not consent. Once you don't consent, they shouldn't be talking to you no more at
Mhm.
all.
I mean, they're going to.
They are.
Yeah, they're gonna violate you
And,
repeatedly.
right, and then they're gonna get sued later.
And the strange thing is, most people aren't going to sue, so they're going to violate everybody repeatedly because the majority of the people aren't going to do anything about it. The people who
Right,
do something about it, they gonna settle in court and be like, "My bad, I didn't mean that."
right, right. And even when on the back of these loans and credit card agreements, there's a part in there that says where if there is a problem, it's to be handled by arbitration and not the courts. So
Mhm.
you signed in that contract to don't take them to court for nothing. Let's
So
settle this.
we'll go on to that too here in a minute. Let me get finished with this part. We're gonna go on to some of that too.
Oh yes.
We
Where
lost
was that?
we lost your screen, so we're not seeing anything you share. If you
Yeah,
you
my
I
computer
can
froze and it
I
like
can
kicked
see
me out
Sean.
for a second.
Pass. I see Sean.
Hey,
Clear.
hey, you still have
No,
to
I'm
share
saying
the
I don't.
screen.
If he decides to share, we're not seeing. Oh no, no,
Oh,
You
no,
see it now?
yeah,
Yeah,
no.
my computer it froze for some reason and it kicked me out. So we was at the UCC financing statement. The UCC financing statement. This is just basically what it is. If you're having issues with this, just Google the redemption manual. I'll actually show you where you can get it from, and you can skim through this and you can read through it. And then if you still have any questions, you could just email me or DM me, or next time we're on here, you can ask me about it. This is the actual form, how the form looks of the UCC financing statement. Can I show you mine? I don't think it has a. Let me see if I can show you mine. Mm. All right, I won't show you my main one, but I'll show you one of mine. I'm not gonna show my main one because I think the main one has too much information on it. But here go all my bills. These are all my bills that I've been running through, working with. So I know I got one on maybe federal. Here's my UCC one for the one I put on maybe federal.
mm-hmm.
Now, yeah, the actual financing statement, you have to learn more about that because that's going to be basically your ledger. That's going to be your register as a secure party creditor, like to put your interest in all your stuff. So like if you go and you apply for a car, and as soon as you put it in, you're going to put a lien on that money to secure your interest in that money. Everything is secured by interest according to the UCC. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. Pretty much it. They tell you to send in a charging instrument, a bill of exchange to charge your secretary direct. I don't think you got to do all that. I'm not going to do all that because it's just you don't really know if they're going to do it or not, and you might just be giving them $100 million, and it just might go to them. So it
Right.
talks about the birth certificate and the acceptance of the birth certificate and where you need to put it at.
Yeah. I filed my financial statement in like a month or so ago.
See, there
Still
you go.
waiting to hear back. That book is Common Law, Common Law Handbook for Jurors, Sheriffs, Bailiffs, and Justices. $5 on Amazon. Big Dog Philly OG is in the house. Peace and love.
Peace and love, brother. Thank you for joining us.
All right.
Yeah, I think your
Yeah.
screen froze again, Sean. Yeah, you just
I don't know why it keeps doing that. All right, so those are pretty much all the documents that you're going to need for your secure party creditor thing. You're gonna get everything registered down or ran with the register of deed. It's stuff for your security agreement. Your security agreement that's private. You want to keep that to yourself. You don't want them. You don't want them knowing about that. So everything else you're gonna do. Um, Actually, it didn't show you the fee schedule because it should be a fee schedule that goes with that. I can actually show you my fee schedule because I know. I believe I got my fee schedule. It keeps freezing every time I start showing my screen. When I'm sharing too much, it starts acting like it's.
Universal Empress. Um, Feel free to go to my channel or Taz channel and look at um, all of the interview, all the lives that we've done with Sean on them as pertaining to the UCC. Because I swear to God, ever since he's been on our show in the beginning, he has been lenient and breaking this stuff down as best
Mhm.
anybody ever has. A lot of time he's showing documents. So like, what if you're missing something here? Like one of the other shows, he probably
Right in there.
expanded on that to the max. And so everybody, I mean, this is big. This is so big because it involves everybody, and nobody ever wanted us to hear UCC or any of this stuff. Didn't want us to know what the numbers are on the back of our social security, don't want us in touch with our long birth certificate. A lot of this stuff can be taught in school as rights, your rights. They don't spend no time on this. We have to go and hunt the information down and put the pieces of the puzzle together to get it to make sense. And Sean
Mhm.
is doing an excellent job. Excellent. So bear with us. Keep coming back.
Yeah, I keep coming
We're
back.
not. Me and Taz ain't gonna stop with Sean until everybody gets it. We already made that promise. We did.
All right. So if you we did do another video basically talking about how to like stop paying your bills and like tender a payment and basically
Right.
all.
Yeah,
I'm
we
just
should.
gonna skim. I'm gonna skim over some of that. I'm not really finna go too far into it. I just want to give people an idea of some things. This is the UCC. It's public knowledge. It's the Uniform Commercial Code. This is tender of payment. If tender of payment of an obligation to pay an instrument is made to a person entitled to enforce the instrument, the effect of tender is governed by principles of law applicable to the tender of payment under a simple contract. That's just basically this is just basically saying if you give an instrument to someone that's supposed to pay this instrument or supposed to enforce this instrument, it's paid. It actually says is instrument the post and the instrument is refused. If tender or payment of an obligation to pay an instrument is made to a person entitled to enforce the instrument and the tender is refused,
Hmm.
there is discharge,
Right.
meaning you don't owe shit no more. You don't have to pay it legally by law. You don't have to pay it anymore. This is the understanding I'm trying to get people to understand. They're going to continue to tell you that you have to pay it. They're going to continue to send you things and all kinds of shit. But the law says it right here. If tender of payment is refused, then there's discharge. It's gone. You don't have to pay it anymore, right? So once
Hmm.
it's gone and you don't have to pay it, there's a couple things that they can do to you. You can't go to jail for owing someone money unless you're stupid. Other than that, you can't really go. I ain't gonna say unless you're stupid, unless you're incompetent. I'll say that. Incompetent meaning you don't know how to avoid it. So money, the only thing they can do is sue you. As long as you follow the law, they can't sue you. They can threaten, but they'll never actually take you to court because the law is on your side and you know the law is on your side.
Hmm. And
So
they know it.
the only thing they can do from that point is report it to your credit report. All right, so let's get into cleaning up the credit report. This is consumerfinance.gov. This is the CFPB, and these are the Code of Federal Regulations, right? So we're going to do Regulation P, Privacy of Consumer Financial Information. This right here talks about an opt-out notice. that they're supposed to give you with every contract, saying that you can opt out of them reporting your your non-public private consumer information to any third party. This is what is a credit bureau. It's a third party. They don't give you this notice. This is a notice that's required by law for them to give you. They give you the notice that you can opt in, and then if you try to opt out, they tell you, "Hey, we can't not tell them this. We have to tell them this. It's the law that we have to tell them." Is what law, right? Because Regulation P says that you have to allow me to opt out.
Oh.
Because there's no choices behind it. So while you're doing this, the first thing I would do for each of my company, I would write up a letter. I would write up an opt-out notice, right?
Mhm.
Saying that you can't share my shit no more.
Is that going to affect your credit score?
They're gonna ignore it.
It's going to lower.
They're gonna ignore it. You're following your process. Like you're building evidence. So when you go to court, it's overwhelming evidence. Majority of this stuff, they're gonna ignore it. They're gonna ignore you. Majority of it.
Oh.
Here's my opt-out notice for U.S. Bank.
Did you send that out, or is that just?
Yeah, I sent it out.
Did they respond?
I make them respond. I send it to them in the mail, and then I report it to the CFPB and make them send it to them too. So you have to respond. You got to respond to them. They don't have to respond to me, but they got to respond to them. Every letter that I do, I make a CFPB complaint. All right? Where's my CFPB shit? I make FDIC complaints.
Wow.
That's the UCC. Where is my?
20 years from now, you'll be writing a book. Or less. 10. That's right. I am said it means discharge, not paid, because we can't pay anything without any money.
Yeah, everything's credit.
Yep.
Federal Reserve notes are promissory notes. They're all negotiable instruments. It's all credit. So right. So here go everybody I done reported on. Right, here go all my cases. I send all my stuff straight through them. So you have to respond. You just go to cfpbgov.com. You click start a complaint. It's gonna bring you to this page, and then you click what you want to complain about. You want to complain about checking, savings, a credit card, a mortgage. Each one you click on will bring out extra stuff, and just tell on them. They're not going to do anything really, but it's building evidence. So now you got I can't remember the law, but it's a law that you have to extinguish your administrative remedy. So you have to actually show that you tried to solve this outside of suing someone before you sue them and sue them. So
Right.
This is just extra stuff that you're putting up to deal with them. I complain to them. Here goes Attorney General. I complain to the Attorney General. If it's a bank, I complain to the FDIC.
Damn.
I complain to the FTC.
Right. Yeah, you're leaving a trail of documentation.
Yep.
Or if it ever does go to the court.
Yep. You just Google file a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission. Like that's all. This basically what it is. It's just following an administrative process and just setting it up so you have the evidence showing, because they're going to violate you. Like they're going to continue to violate you, and it's going to be so blatant.
Right. Yeah.
Like, all right, so
no Vaseline.
Back in the federal. So now we're going to go to Fair Debt Collection Practices. This talks about how they're supposed to approach you when trying to collect something from you. It also tells what they're not supposed to do. Right? So calling someone repeatedly, that's harassment. That's
Yep.
I think it's like it's punishable by either a 1,000 to 5,000 or 1,000 to 10,000 per phone call that you can invoice them and sue them for, right? False and deceptive. Basically, if you write them a letter saying that, hey, I tendered this payment of this instrument, and they write a letter back saying, hey, you can't do that, that's false and deceptive and misleading. It's a violation of this, right?
Mhm.
So it starts piling up. Stuff that they do, it just starts piling up.
Mhm.
So after you do that, all right, let's talk about contracts, right?
Mhm.
All contracts are voidable based on the fact that they didn't give you full disclosure. Full disclosure basically means they can't hide anything from you. They have to. There's certain things that the law tells them that they have to provide for you, and they have to tell you. And if they don't tell you, you did not have full disclosure when you agreed to this contract, right? So one of the main things is this one, Regulation P. They didn't give you a notice you can opt out. That's one of the main things, right? One of the other ones are with the lending by the rescission. It's supposed to provide you with the right to rescission two different times in clear, conspicuous, bold type. No one gives it to you twice. Majority of them won't even give it to you once, right? This is a major law. When you open up an account, they have mandatory money that they have to hold that the FDIC makes them hold in an account just in case you rescind. What rescission does when you sign a contract, the contract is for the instrument. It's not for whatever you signed it for. So if you sign a contract for a car, the contract isn't for the car, it's for the instrument. How a contract works. This is where I read all my stuff from, right? It's like $11 a month. It's got everything on it.
Legal books, also, or
Legal books, documents. It's got.
hey,
I'm gonna run you through some of the stuff is on it. It's got everything on it.
does it got downloadable forms?
Yeah.
Empress, Universal Empress asks, what if they keep information?
I mean, they're gonna keep information anyways. Majority of the information is public. You're gonna have to sue. Like we're gonna get deeper into the credit report here in a second after I break down some of this. What is my thing?
And isn't anybody who's doing all of this when they get to the point where okay, I'm gonna go after what's mine. I'm gonna secure all these things and do everything legally. Aren't you then just gonna be considered someone frivolous by the courts or the system?
Not necessarily by the courts, but I mean it's depending on who you're up against. Whoever you're up against is gonna try to violate you. So I mean, you gotta do what you want. This book right here, everyone should read. This is what I'm currently reading right now. It's called
Business
Business
law.
Law. Yep.
Okay,
It's
business law. Are you the average person can't talk to you about this stuff? True. So even the way that you breaking it down, simply like showing them pictures, showing them forms, this is
hmm
still hard for some of us who aren't haven't been using our thinking mind. Okay,
hmm
and so I would suggest first people just start getting used to thinking for
hmm
themselves and not only just take what Shawn is giving you, but you should be going down other pathways that leads here and there, and maybe you come back and give Shawn some information. This is how it should work. Nobody should just
Mhm.
be. It should be two ways in teaching and communications. So like, don't just only do what Shawn is say to do. Go a little deeper. Click on that extra stuff that's in the vicinity of what he's showing you how to do, because the chances are, if you want to take control of your life in this life, you're gonna have to get a thinking mind,
Mhm.
and
And
and,
with
and stuff can still be hard with the thinking mind, but at least you got something to fight with.
mhm. it says if they provide you the notice, then you only have 3 days to rescind. If they don't provide you the notice, you have 3 years from the point that you discover the transgression. So it's 3 years from the time that you discover that they did provide you with this notice. So if you don't discover for 3 years and then you discover it, that's when the clock starts.
Mm.
But all right, so this talks about contracts, right? Bilateral contracts versus unilateral contracts. Every contract we're in is basically a unilateral contract. A unilateral contract involves a promise by one party and an act by the other party. It's that simple. You promise to pay them, and they're supposed to give you consideration. They don't give you consideration. Matter of fact, they charge you,
Mm-hmm.
which they're not supposed to do. This talks about valid contracts, what it means to be a valid contract. An unenforceable contract does not meet one or more legal requirements and cannot be enforced by either party. One or more legal requirements. What's a legal requirement? A legal notice? A legal notice that you failed to give me? Is that a legal requirement? To me, that sounds like a legal requirement.
Yep.
So pretty much, majority of contracts can be voided simply based on that lack of full disclosure. There's a lot of stuff that you did behind my back that you didn't tell me about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I go back. I want to go back.
Yeah, and simply for the fact that they know that you're not gonna know how to come at them.
Mm-hmm. And most people who know they still don't do it. All right, so this is some of the stuff I got saved in mind. I got business law, how to beat the government, micronations. I'm gonna start my own nation eventually, so I can get diplomatic immunity. How to start your own country.
Okay.
Just reading that just kind of yeah. But I'm studying on that GAAP. When you get done, this is accounting. These are the laws of accounting. GAAP, General Accounting Practices. It all comes down to accounting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Since you're the natural person in use of a legal entity, all credit comes from you. Every credit account comes from your personal credit information. If you call in a T-Mobile right now to get access to your account, they're going to ask you for your name, they're going to ask you for your social, they're going to ask you for your non-public private information showing you as the owner of this account,
Mm-hmm. Mm.
right?
Right.
So this gap is going to teach you how everything is credit, everything is prepaid. HJR 192 House Joint Resolution talks about when they removed the gold standard from being payment. From that point, everything became credit. Federal
Wait,
Reserve
hold on. Give me that HR resolution again.
HR House Joint Resolution 192 HJR 192.
Mm.
That's when they removed the gold standard and they made everything paper money. They made everything negotiable instruments. So everything is credit at this particular
Was
point in
that
time.
1933?
Yeah. Yep. By Theodore Roosevelt. He the motherfucker who did it.
Okay.
So that basically explains how the current money system is. There is no money. Everything is credit. Everything is based on a promise to pay. This is where it gets tricky when it goes into like electronics and going more into VR and stuff like that. They're changing things, right? So in this business law book, They talk about contracts being implied or not implied. Implied basically means I come up to you and be like, hey, you do this for me and I'll do this for you. And you be like, okay, I can now sue you because of that. Right? It doesn't have to be wrote down. Just because we came to an agreement. An agreement and a contract. An agreement is a meeting of minds between two people. The contract is the legal enforceability of an agreement.
Mm-hmm.
So we can have an agreement and it not be legally enforceable.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a contract, that means it's legally enforceable. That means I can actually sue you for it. So a contract doesn't have to be written down. It can be verbal, right? You don't have a contract with your electricity company,
Right.
but they still charge you on the regular. You still pay. It's based on you paying. It's based on performance. Performance shows that you have a contract. Now they can sue you because you have performance in the contract. So by changing everything digital, it's changing the ideas of contracts. Most people have never heard of negotiable instruments. And in 15 or 20 years, no one's going to know what a negotiable instrument is. It's going to be all crypto. But
Mm-hmm.
up under the crypto, it's going to be negotiable instruments. And the people who know about negotiable instruments is still going to be able to move the way they want to move. And everybody else is going to be bound by the new rules that they don't know anything about. All
Yeah,
right. So
wow,
now
that's crazy.
it's real crazy. But now we're going deeper into your consumer report, right? Because me and my aunt was talking about this earlier. There is a difference between a credit report and a consumer report, right?
Mm-hmm.
A credit report is basically just a bunch of your transactions that are filed and put out there. A consumer report isn't supposed to show any of that. They're illegally reporting stuff on your consumer report, right?
So where is a consumer report? Who gets or looks for a consumer report?
They pull the consumer report. They're not supposed to. All right, we're gonna read through this and give you a little bit more. All right, consumer report. The term consumer report means any written, oral, or other communication of any information by a consumer reporting agency bearing on a consumer's credit worthiness, credit standing, credit capacity, character, general reputation, personal characteristics, or mode of living which used or expected to be used or collected in whole or in part for the purpose of serving as factor in establishing a consumer's ability for credit or insurance to be used primarily for personal, family, or household use, employment uses, or any other personally authorized under this section.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the exclusion section, what's not supposed to be in your consumer report, except as provided in paragraph 3. The term consumer report does not include reports containing information solely as to transactions or experiences between the consumer and a person making the report. Where's the person? Let's see what the person means. The person means an individual, a partnership, a corporation, a trust, an estate. They're all persons. We're all persons. They're all persons, right? So if you're dealing with U.S. Bank or Experian is the person. They're making the report. And they're
Mm-hmm.
not supposed to report transactions or experiences. Late payments, collections, all that stuff is not supposed to be reported on your consumer report, right? We're gonna go through congressional findings.
Cornell Law School.
Yeah, there's the Cornell Law School. Says you could just
You can
Google
just
that.
Google it;
Yeah,
it'll pull it up.
yeah. Cornell Law School will pop up, and it'll have all the information that he's
Mhm.
put on the screen.
So this,
Sean,
yeah,
can you type your Cash App in the chat?
yeah. Let me see what it is. In the private chat, will it let me do it?
Private or otherwise.
Yeah, in the private chat, you could put it in. And I'll make a what you call it out of it. A banner.
Okay. Yeah, but so They made all of these laws and statutes and codes and rules and they don't go by none of them.
Yep, you got to enforce them. If you don't know, then you don't have these rights. So
But
it's
they're not even trying to apply by the law or
I
any
know
of this stuff.
they don't have to. If you don't know, they don't have to. They're not going to help you. You have to be like, hey, help me do this, or they're not going to help you. It's just it says it in the codes. Like if you can't enforce your rights, you don't have these rights. You don't get them. So here's the congressional findings, right?
Uh,
The banking system is dependent upon fair and accurate credit reporting. Inaccurate credit reports directly impair the efficiency of the banking system. An unfair credit reporting method undermines the public confidence with the essential to the continued functioning of the banking system. This is all Congress stuff, and it just goes to talk about how the consumers have a right to privacy, and that they're supposed to do a full investigation when you dispute something. The credit bureaus are supposed to do a full investigation. They're supposed to
right.
call you. They're supposed to sit down and talk to you. They're supposed to call the other companies. They're supposed to look at paperwork. They don't do none of that shit.
They
They
don't.
call LexisNexis. They call LexisNexis. LexisNexis contacts them, and LexisNexis just sends them the report. That's illegal. Right. That's illegal right there.
You gonna learn today?
Yeah.
Wow. A
So now
person
we
can
see
have a
them.
full-time job just correcting all this bullshit.
Yep. All right. So we finna go into it's supposed to be the 4-day block and remove method, right? They're supposed to remove anything in 4 days. I did it. They haven't done it. That's why I'm finna sue they bitch asses.
Oh shit.
Lack of information resulting in identity theft. I need to show you what the actual definition of identity theft is.
Understanding these definitions, these legal definitions, is key. All these words, I know it sounds like a lot of books, but I do want to
Yeah.
let the people know that if they want to have, a Black Laws dictionary, it's always very helpful in the case that you don't have access to the internet, or whatever.
All right. Identity theft means fraud committed using the identity information of another person, subject to further definition by the bureau. All right. So I need you to ask yourself: have you ever talk to anyone from Experian and given them your personal consent to report any of your information? Have
Never.
you done that with TransUnion or Equifax?
Never.
They just start doing it, right?
Yep.
That's identity theft. Says it right there. What was it? Where were we at? What was I just said? Identity theft. Says it right here. They're reporting your private information. It's identity theft, right? So you do want to come and read this act. You're going to go to right? You're going to go here. You're going to fill out an identity theft report.
There's a Jiminy fucking cricket somewhere next to me.
Yeah. So here's my package I sent to Experian. Basically tell them the exclusions, the following need to be blocked immediately. Right? There's my ID, my social card, which is blocked out so you can't see my extra stuff. Here's my identity theft report.
Damn!
Followed by an affidavit. Right? Affidavit says all the information that's wrong on my credit report and what needs to be removed. I would take that. Once you get the identity report and everything together, take it back to CFPB. Okay, Fanny. Start a new complaint. Right? Here's my TransUnion one. Here's my Equifax. Here's my Experian. Right? LexisNexis. That's another credit bureau. That's one of the smaller credit bureaus. You want to send them a report saying that they can't report your information either because they're doing the same thing as the three major. These are the three major right here: Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. LexisNexis is the other one. Innovis, Check System, and there's one more: LexisNexis, Innovis, Check System, and SageStream. Those are the four other credit bureaus that you need to block. Or you need to send them information saying, hey, I opt out. Do not report my private information anymore. If you provide any more of my private information, I will sue you because we don't have a contract. You don't have a right to charge me anything.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Unless someone got some questions.
You are you're muted, sis. I seen you were trying to say something, but you're muted.
It's okay. I'm just saying this is all. I'd rather do this as a full-time job.
Yeah, that's what I do. You don't have to pay nothing. Sit at home and read and learn. You don't have to overwhelm yourself. It's a lifestyle change. So it's just like if you want to get healthier, you don't just start eating right for a month. You got to eat right for the rest of your life. So you just got to start learning, start reading, start looking into stuff. It'll start making sense. Look, the best thing for someone to do is if you're going through these laws, I'm gonna show you let me show you the right way to go through the laws because a lot of people don't really. Because the understanding is the hardest thing to get, and it's really just understanding the words that are being said that are actually being put out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's what I was gonna show y'all. That I forgot with the secure party process. I told you you were going to get the affidavit. Then you're gonna do. This right here is where you apply for your certificate of non-citizen national status, right? They'll
Why
actually give you a certificate saying that you're a U.S. national and you're not a U.S. citizen. You can apply. You can send an application to the Attorney General, or you can send it to your Secretary of State. I would start with the Secretary of State. There's a law that says that you cannot deny access to a right claimed by a national. So once you claim you're a national, it's literally illegal for them to deny you your rights.
Oh.
So you read through this. This will teach you about like switching your nationality and getting them to recognize. And once you got the certificate, now if anybody say something, you can just give them the certificate, bro. The government told me I'm good, so you can't say nothing to me no more. Like it's already right here, right? So now. Trying to find. Let me make sure I ain't got my shit on there first before I do that.
Mm-hmm.
trying to find my actual application for you so y'all can see what my application looked like that I sent in.
If it's so hard for us to get a hold of this information now because of how hidden it is, man, I'm just sitting here thinking, looking at my son and thinking of my children's children, and
They ain't gonna know nothing about it, but else we teach them.
right. If you're not passing this information down to the youth and leaving them a little something to remind them, like, listen, there's more than what is being showed to you in front of your face. Believe half of what you see and nothing that you hear.
Mm. Wow.
I'll be having so much.
What are you speaking in regards, sis? The sis says there's application for an application for what? For your to become a national? Is that what you're implying? I think that's what she's.
Yeah, where they actually send you confirmation saying that this everyone is born a citizen and a national. Most people tell everybody that they're a citizen and they don't ever claim their self as being a national. Right? So here go
Oh,
my application.
Mm.
oh, okay.
I wrote all this in red pen, right? Oh, you see it? It's right here. It just basically says, I, Shawn Sims, proceeding in good faith, being a sound mind, state that the facts contained herein are true, correct, and complete, and not meant to mislead, to the best of my private firsthand knowledge and belief under the penalty of perjury. So I was just saying everything is real. All right. So first one, 18 USC 1452 gives me the right to apply for a non-U.S. citizen status. My name is Sean Andre, family of Sims. This is the name given to me at birth. It's my birthday. I was born in Elkhart General, County of Elkhart, not to be restricted, because a lot of these are businesses, right? So, County of Elkhart, you can search that on Dun and Bradstreet, right? Elkhart County, you can't. So I'm specifying. This
Mhm.
one is a business.
Mm.
This one
Yeah.
is searchable, right?
Yeah. Dun and Bradstreet.
County of Elkhart, right there, right? Shows you the business. This is the office, right? That's the county. It's supposed to give you prices when you go into it. It'll tell you how much revenue it makes. Like this is the free one, so it's just a free search. But this right here is proof that this is a entity. This isn't land. This is an actual business,
Mm.
right? So the county of Elkhart is the actual land, right? In Indiana State,
Mm.
not the state of Indiana. The state of Indiana is another business. The District of Columbia is a business, and it's a district zone. If you read the Registration Act, you can actually register your own zone. So, like when I get into creating my own country or creating my micronation, I'm gonna end up registering my own zones, right?
Mhm.
I was born in America, not to be accused with the United States. That's just as described in 28 USC 302. The United States means a federal corporation, an agency, a department, a commission, a board, or other entity of the United States. I'm not that. I am a
Mm.
natural person or a consumer explained in 12 CFR this one, and it says exactly what a consumer is.
Damn.
I'm a co-signer to my commercial legal person, Shawn Andre Roberson Sims, given on the benefit of the United States federal government. And you know what I'm saying? You just make your case. You plead your case. It's the definition of a co-signer means a natural person who assumes liability for the obligations of a consumer without receiving goods, money, or anything. Right?
Right.
I'm a natural person, therefore I cannot participate in commerce as described in 15 USC. Commerce means commerce around several states and foreign nations. You're not a foreign nation, you're not a state, so you can't do commerce by yourself.
So listen, when you're driving, you can go whatever speed limit you want,
Yeah.
as long as you ain't
You're
hit
not.
nobody.
You're not. If you're driving, you can't. If you're traveling, you can.
Okay, right? Because driving is commerce.
Yeah.
But
Driving
yeah,
is.
when you're in your vehicle that you bought, you don't have a speed limit.
Yeah, you don't have a speed limit, and once you get your status corrected and you get your plates right, they won't even they'll pull you over, actually slow down, and then they'll let you go. So, but all this is just all just talking about different stuff. My birth certificate, everything is just it's just going through pretty much everything, right? Everything that says that hey, I'm not this person. This final one is the main one. Denial of rights and privileges as a national. If any person who is within the United States claims the rights or privileges of a national of the United States and desires such rights or privileges by any department or independent agency or official thereof, upon the ground that he or she is not a national of the United States, such person may institute an action under the provisions of basically saying you can sue them if they say you're not a national, you can sue.
Oh.
This is all the information I sent. So I went and sat down with the Social Security Administration. I made them give me a letter saying that I was clinically alive.
No, wow.
Damn.
So I got the UCC filing. Affidavit of correction is just an affidavit correcting your name. So correcting it from that status to the other one. You can do this. This is extra work. You could do it if you want to. Affidavit of life. That's the same thing as the affidavit of ID. I got an affidavit of foreign status. That's just basically pretty much all the information in this came from my affidavit of foreign status. Right? That's my petition to sue right there that I'm working on.
And of course, you're going in there representing yourself. Wow. Did you ever watch a YouTube video about a Moor who got a Moor in court, where he's telling the judge that she don't have jurisdiction over him? She's playing it off, but she's clearly not badass judge.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly not commanding him shit. They tried to like give him a lawyer who was, you know, who's there at the courthouse to put something on record for him. He rejected all of that shit. He was so bold, and it's a beautiful thing to see.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
But once you know your rights,
Yeah,
enforce. That's the next thing. Enforce them.
that's right.
And I mean, you got to start taking it like these people are lying to you. I take it offensively, like you lying to my face, bro. Like I already know what you're supposed to do. I done read your rules. I'm pretty sure you ain't read them.
Right.
Like you lying to my face. That's not how it goes. That's my SS letter. That's my affidavit of correction. I don't want to show that because that might have my stuff in it. I'm looking for my affidavit of foreign. I'm not popping it up. All right. Mm-hmm.
I say you are one organized mofo, Sean. I know the meaning of folders.
I
Folders and
started doing stuff, and then I wasn't keeping track of stuff,
right.
and that kind of started messing me up. And then when it was time to do something, I didn't have a copy of it, and
Right. Yeah, you're definitely organized now.
I can't fucking find my shit.
Right, because it's not like you could just say that you did it. You have to provide the proof so they can.
Mm-hmm. Can't find what I'm looking for. That's really crazy. I can't find my affidavit of foreign status. I know I got it. Well, anyway, the affidavit of foreign status is just I can show you a basic affidavit, and it just states everything that was stated on there. It just states it and I got it. You get it notarized, and then I got it ran on the record.
Mm-hmm.
Showing,
Razbird08 asks, do I have to continue paying bills after my status change? And that was covered in a previous video, correct, brother? If I'm wrong, that we did. So go look through my videos, and you'll be able to find in there one of the ones that specifically uh for bills. If I'm not mistaken, that's defeating the credit bureaucrats. I think it was
mm-hmm.
called it. Yeah, go look for that video, defeating the credit bureaucrats, and that will answer your question.
Yeah,
Uh,
because paying your bills, your concept of bills, it depends on what is your understanding of money and what is your understanding of bills. Because bills aren't actually bills; they're not meant to be paid, right? They're actually payments to you. But if you don't know that and you don't know how to collect, then you pay. Like all your bills are positive. They're never. If you owe someone something, they will send you something that's negative, saying that you owe it, right? They wouldn't send you even when your shit is in the red. It's still positive. It's still there's so bills are bills of lading. They're documents of title. They're negotiable instruments. So when getting into not paying bills, you're gonna have to get into negotiable instruments and understanding what negotiable instruments is, right? So you still have to run your straw man as a business because there's still things that you need to do. You still need food, you still need electricity, you still need lights, you still want access to your credit. So you still need to use your straw man. So you need to learn to use your straw man as a business because everything, all the money that you spend out with your straw man, you can get a tax return and you can claim it back. That's
Mm-hmm.
what accounting comes in. All the money you put into your straw man, if you don't claim it back, it goes to the national debt. There's actually a website where you can see the national debt. I can't remember. There's actually a website that you can pull up and it shows you the national debt as it expands and it grows.
oh
Like
yeah,
the
yeah,
national
yeah, yeah, yeah.
is,
That's easy to find. Yeah.
yep, it's interest not paid to we the people. It's interest not paid. So the government keeps it and then they draw interest and they use the interest to do things.
Right. Wisdom Show asked, aren't we automatically a national and citizen?
Yeah, the certificate you have to apply with the attorney general or you have to apply with your secretary of state to actually receive the certificate. Like those are the only two people that can authorize you to receive the actual certificate, right? So this is the law about that. Once you get the certificate, from that point you can get a 5-star national passport. So then your passport will basically have you listed as a national. So then you can just use your passport. You're not going to be showing too many people that unless you have to.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
the statement is it's a document, a title. What you're sending back a remittance coupon. So the bottom of it is the coupon. When you send it back, you're making a remittance payment. You're sending it back. But when they're sending you an actual document, a title. If you look up in the UCC documents, a title, that's what the way that you stop paying your bills is just transferring the interest on the document of title. When you go see the other video, it's like 4 hours long and walks you through how to transfer interest on a actual negotiable instrument. But that's what bills are. They're prima facie evidence that you were given credit, that they're holding your credit account. They're holding your consumer account. It's your account. They're just holding it for you.
Mm.
Like every account. Everything you sign, that you put your name and your address on it, they're holding your stuff. If you have to call in and they'd be like, hey, give me your name and your address and your number so I can know this is your account, and you give it to them, that's showing them that's your account, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a contract is not really evidence of an obligation. A contract is evidence of credit given. So when you ask them to validate your debt and they start sending you statements, That's not a validation of debt. That's not showing that there's any obligation. That's just showing that there's a credit relationship between me and you. You should write them back when you ask for a validation of debt and tell them that, like, this isn't showing any obligation, bro. You need to give me something that's showing that I have an obligation. And when you read contracts and you read what a unilateral contract is, you don't have an obligation. They have an obligation. Your obligation was the promise to pay. When you signed whatever contract it was to get the car, that was your promissory note. That was your promise to pay. That's the end of your obligation. Their obligation now is to provide you with their part of it, which is to give you the interest, to release the interest, to offset the debt. So once you get it down, and it's really just you got to learn the UCC. The UCC tells you how to do commerce. It tells you everything. It's just it's a lot. It's a lot, but it breaks down everything.
Mm-hmm.
I am said the U.S. State Department says there's no certificate of non-citizenship. If you qualify for one, they suggest you get a citizen passport.
If they say that soon, right? Because it's right here. It's right here. This is public knowledge. It's right here. You can pull it up. You can send it to them. You can copy. You can print it. Like, how you gonna tell me that there is not one when it says right here that there is one? That's how I approach. You got to understand that you have to. If you accept a lie, you accept a lie. If they tell you can't do anything and you be like, all right, well, I can't do it, then you can't do it, right?
Right, closed mouth. Don't
tell me I can't do something when I'm reading that it's right here. Do it. I'm gonna sue you if you try to tell me. At the end of this thing, it says that I'm gonna sue you if you deny me my rights, because it says in there you can't deny me the rights of a national if I ask for them. So if you do it, then we just got to go that route.
Right. Yeah, closed mouth don't get fed. So I mean, you have to speak up.
In regards to the passport, you can have multiple passports. It just depends on which one you want to use. So when you get your national passport, I just wouldn't use my other passport. Now, I have a regular passport too, and then I'm gonna get the national passport, and then I'm gonna try to get the I can't remember what it's called right now. The diplomatic passport. After I get done with all this and get this situated, the next one is gonna try to be the diplomatic passport.
And what can you do as a diplomat?
They can't arrest you for shit. If you shoot somebody in the head, they have to take you to your consulate. Your consulate is going to be your home or wherever you put at.
So did you hear when Donald Trump was first running for president? He said, I can walk down the middle of the street and shoot somebody in the head and they wouldn't be able to do anything to me. Now, that sounds crazy and Trumpish, and that's all we're going to think about it. But really, a lot of those crazy, insane statements he was making are true.
Yep.
Because he knows law.
Mm-hmm. Or he got a shit ton of lawyers that know law that's around him. So once you get rich, you don't really have to study no more. You can pay people to do it.
You have to know something, because why would you commit any crime you want, file as much bankruptcy as you want, buy anything you want, and all of it is in your favor, no matter what you do. If you talk about the Midas touch, he got it.
Yep.
Don't believe that he can't be president again because of all of this negative bullshit that's out about him and all the shit that he do. He knows law, or like I said, somebody very close knows all of it. The whole UCC thing.
This is not the company website. This is the USC. This is the United States Code. This trumps their company policies.
Right.
That's the code of the United States. It trumps any policy. I can show you right now. Regulation P clearly states that they have to provide you notice. Every company, if you go to their privacy notice, it's going to specifically say that they have to report this information that this government site says you're not supposed to. So when dealing with a company, you got to know the difference between actual laws and rules and just their regulations and their policies. McDonald's policies, you ain't got to follow McDonald's policies. They could be like, hey, you have to follow me because we're McDonald's. If you decide to follow McDonald's, that's because you decide to follow McDonald's. So if it's on the United States Code and you can pull it up and you can quote it, and it's right here, and it says basically that there is a certificate. and you go on their actual private site and it says that there is no certificate, that private site is lying to you. So now you have to choose whether you believe the United States Code or this private site, which a private company is a person. That's how I look at it. It's just like a nigga off the street telling me something.
And it's not really, United States code. It's universal code.
Is you know what's called?
Universal.
I mean, I'm not reading it. I already sent in my application, so I'm just waiting to get mine back. If he tells me that he can't do it, then I'm gonna sue. It's simple. I don't haggle and go back and forth with people about the law. That's not my job. I'm not a lawyer. If you don't know it, then it's on you. So if you tell me that I can't do this, if I actually send this in and they send it back and be like, hey, you can't do this because of this, my response is going to be, so you don't have to follow the U.S. code. And if they respond back, no, we don't have to follow the U.S. code, then I'm going to sue them. If they respond back, yes, I do have to follow the U.S. code, then I'm going to sue them. Because either way, you violated. You violated. Right. Either way, you violated. This is the United States Code. It is also in the Federal Code of Regulation. This is the law here. Like, so if they don't follow it, or if they tell you that they don't have to follow it, then it's up to you whether you want to enforce it or not. If you don't enforce it, they get away with it. U.S. Code is not law, but it's the law of the public. Common law is law for us, but it's the law of the public. It's the law that public corporations have to follow or are supposed to follow. Mm-hmm. So U.S. code is codified in state laws, codified in county laws, codified in federal law. Each United States code law is also in the Federal Code of Regulations. It's also it's in all the different laws on every level. So if a policy of a private company versus the United States who owns the private company. So that would be like if I have a company and I have certain guidelines for my employees, and one of my employees say they're not going to follow my guidelines because they don't have to, well then if you come and tell me and I find out about them, you finna get fired, or you finna get it's finna be a penalty to it. You can lie all you want to, but if
okay, I think she corrected it now. They're saying they didn't create.
Oh, they say they didn't create it. I mean, I just wanted to get it. I don't even care if it don't hold no weight.
And like Shawn just showing, like you can create your own documents.
Yeah.
There's nothing specific.
Registration.
Nothing.
The registration that you can register a whole bunch of different stuff. That's what a lot of people was missing is you can register. You can register your own ID, your own legal ID, and you can carry that legal ID
that you made.
Mm-hmm. As long as it's registered right and it's got the correct information and you follow the law, they can't do nothing. Now, if you do it and you run into a stupid cop that don't know what you're doing, he might hassle you.
Right.
But then sue him.
Your bottom line.
Yeah. If you violate my rights, you have a choice. Everybody has a choice to make, right? You have a choice, especially if you're a cop or you're an official and you're supposed to know this stuff. I'm just a nigga, a regular dude, and I know this stuff. So, like, if you're a cop and you pulling me over and you're telling me something that's against the law, and I tell you it's not, I'm not finna argue with it. I'm not finna fight with you. I'm too big. I don't want to get shot. I want to go home. So I'm gonna let you arrest me and whatever. As soon as I get home, you will hear from me.
Right.
And you're gonna be mad when you hear from me because I'm not gonna be forgiving. You embarrassed me. So yeah, I'm finna push it there.
Detector test determined that was a lie.
I done had so many companies write me back and say, hey, you can't do this. You just did this. You just transferred your rights on this instrument to this collection company. Right? So how can you do it and I can't do it? And then when I transfer the rights and I tell the collection company, they stop trying to collect on me. But you're still telling me I can't do it?
Oh.
Like you lying. But that's unfair and deceptive. That's just another violation for me to sue you for.
Okay, and that's what I was talking about earlier. If you're going to be doing all these suits in Tennessee courts, at some point, Queen Elizabeth's sister is going to say, hey, you're doing frivolous lawsuits. And the same thing with the
have a lawyer. Have a lawyer do everything. I'm gonna have a lawyer do everything.
And
so I'm gonna pay you whatever it is. They're slam dunk lawsuits. Like you don't have to just slam dunk lawsuits. Like I know what it is. I'm going to give you the way to beat this.
Aren't you first going to have to educate your lawyer?
I should know. If you're a contract law lawyer, I'm just gonna come to you and tell you, hey, I want to sue them for breach of contract. They didn't give me these notices that are required by the state government. They have to give me these notices, and they didn't. That's breach of contract. That's all he need to know.
Okay, listen. I know of a CPA who's never heard of fiat and don't know what fiat is. Okay, so I'm saying because they're licensed and the authority in their field of study, they still don't be knowing shit.
I wouldn't even talk to them because you're not a lawyer. You can't make legal determinations.
Mm-hmm.
So you can argue with me and we can go back and forth and it's a waste of time. Versus lawyer is going to have to go back and look up code. If I start quoting law to him, he's going to go look up the laws.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You're going to have to teach him what to do. Well, that's how I have to do my lawyers.
If he listens, his life is going to change. If he listens, you're a lawyer. If you get this part of the law,
right,
you're unstoppable. You will be amazing. So it's just about if he's competent enough to get what I'm kicking off. Because I'll go.
You're gonna learn today.
Like I love to have a lawyer that I can tell other people, hey, call him, bro. He already know what's good. Like he'll get you straight. Right. I love to have a lawyer I can do that with. So it's just a matter of
in demand.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be the new Johnny Cochran of the New World.
Your practice is gonna blow up real quick. So it's just a matter of if you get it or not. Like, because I got 8 or 9 people I need to sue. I know my mom is gonna have like 7 or 8 people she needs to sue. My sister is probably gonna have like 4 or 5 people she needs to sue. You finna get all of them. And then the other people I send to you, you'll get them too. So it's this money raining in your pocket. Yeah. And they're guaranteed. So it's not like you losing anything. You're guaranteed. Majority of the time, once you start sending out letters, they finna respond and act right. So
shit, you got time to go get your own law degree and be the coldest motherfucker ever.
Mm-hmm. That's why I just want him to do it now.
They'll kick you out of the bar though.
Once it's like you out of the bar because the bar is bullshit. You're in doctor's rating. It's certain stuff you can't do. Yeah. I would rather help people in a private capacity because there's a lot more I can do than as a lawyer. But I mean, shoot, in about 2 or 3 years, it's gonna be. I won't have to have a lawyer sue me. I really don't need them to sue it now. I just, for my first time, I would rather have somebody walk me through it.
Uh-huh.
I already know the process. That law book explains how to sue people. It explains the court system. It explains pretty much everything. So I already know what I'm doing. It's just a matter of my first time.
Right.
I don't know exactly which form to file to start a petition. I know
it don't matter because you're never gonna make it to court.
I know, but you gotta
be mediated.
You got to file something with the court, and then the court will either give you paper that you can subpoena them or you can send it to them. Once you do that, then that's when they're going to contact and be like, hey, we want to talk now. But you actually
exactly
something in the court first. I don't know
probable cause.
File. So once I get that, if he do it, I'm going to wait a couple of days to see if he going to talk to me. If he don't hit me up by like Wednesday, then I'm just going to go do it myself because I ain't really got time to be. I'm trying to get this done and over with. I got other stuff coming. I got other stuff going. Like,
yeah, you need probably like 2 more of you. You'll be good.
That's what. Yeah, that's what I'm start seeing. Some more people.
Process would take.
Everything on your half shouldn't take you more than 30 days. Like the rest of the stuff is you're dealing with the federal government. So when sending stuff and requesting stuff from them, it's just when it comes. Like,
right.
When they send it to you, like they didn't have my birth certificate for about 3 months. About 3 months now. I sent out for the certificate about 2 months ago. So it's just
it's a waiting game.
Yeah, it's the government. They get piled up. They still working on the old computer system. So it's just when they get to it, they get to it.
Right. So if you moved or was in a coma or was whatever out of country and you got your notifications, then that's how the court is. That's why they always postpone the shit because eventually, after 3 years and they haven't been to court yet, and I know for a fact that they'll drag a court case out in 3 years because I've had several and they always end in either mediation or me just saying fuck it.
Once most people can't afford it. You paying them lawyer fees and they can afford it.
I ain't never paid no lawyer, and I've filed all my lawsuits myself.
A lot of lawyers would just take it out of the wind, which that's what I'd rather do. Just
the only lawyer I pay is if we went on a contingency basis after I got my probable cause. Okay. They've never filed any complaints for me. I do all my own shit. I was telling Task that the other day. I do all my own write-ups. I take it all the way till I get my probable cause and they get served. And then I know I got another lawsuit because now they're gonna retaliate because now they see I wasn't bullshitting.
Yep.
Okay. I promise you, lawyers come to you after you get your probable cause. And it's always on a contingency basis where they get a third after they get you your money. All the lawsuits I did don't really be about money. It'd be about principle, and the fact that I told you to watch your fucking mouth, like say to my employer. I already told you to watch your fucking mouth when you're talking to me. And then if they want to get racist, that's beautiful.
Yeah, come bring it. Do it. Say whatever you got to say.
I had to tell a company one time. A company asked me who was the EEOC. And we were in a meeting. It's me against 8 of them. And so I said, you know what? Go and call your lawyer right now and tell him what I said. They was nice than a bitch the next day. And now they want to talk and do all of this. But I already filed my complaint. Ain't no use of you being good to me for 10 days because that's what you're going to be serving in 10 days. So I don't even let them do that. Like, move the fuck around. Your best business is to get me out of this company right now. Go ahead and fire me today.
Yep, that's how you got to start doing it. You kind of got to bully. Like, it's your stuff. They can violating you. You can let them keep doing it, or you can be like, you ain't doing it no more. Like, I'm not going to allow you to do this. Like, I know I gave you a promissory note and you did some bullshit with it. You're supposed to pay me something for this promissory note. It says it right here in this book. It says it right here in this law. So where's the payment that I'm supposed to get? Oh, we're not supposed to do that. Well, you're lying. All right. Well, you can lie to me. Anybody can lie to you. So move forward with the next thing.
They said we should have never let them Negroes learn how to read.
It's messed up because technology is a double-sided sword. Like, so you want us, technology, TikTok and stuff like that brainwashes you, but in between it is bits of truth. So the people who can grab the truth is going to find out.
Yes.
The people who can't is just going to scroll through it. So it's like you giving all this information. It's on YouTube. None of this stuff ever popped up on my YouTube ever until I started looking for it. Now all my stuff that pops up is concerning this.
Yeah.
Not a one thing concerning any of this. As soon as I did one search on YouTube, now all my stuff, people just be popping up now talking about the same thing. And I'm like, oh, so y'all was hiding until I started looking for it.
There you go.
They'll receive. That's
right. You got to use the algorithm in your favor so it could bring you that information.
Yep. Seek and you shall receive. Start looking for something and you will find stuff.
Seek and you shall receive. I couldn't
Shawn,
better.
Let me give you a follow-up. Let me follow up to my landlord situation because he's trying to say, go ahead and sign this extended lease because we can't raise your rent without it. So I'm like, really? So
that's an adverse action. You can't raise my rent.
He's saying you just sign this like it's not a negotiating instrument. Like you don't need to do anything. Don't scratch anything out. Don't do anything. And so I sent him a letter at the beginning of the month of a addendum that I wrote. I said I would like this addendum attached to the extended lease that you want me to sign. And in the addendum, I wrote out all of my shit, like your hazards, security issues, and all the other issues. Why I moved here. Now we ain't got no cameras. I wrote down a whole page about that shit. You know what? It's been like 11 days now, and I haven't heard shit from him.
Because he's trying to figure out what to do.
I suspect I'm gonna get a eviction notice under my door one day. That's what I suspect. But
lawsuit.
This contract problem existed 1st.
That's what, go file a lawsuit.
Exactly.
Like, if you go kick me out, I'm gonna sue you because you're violating law at this particular point in time. It's not my problem that you don't understand what you're supposed to do under a contract. You need to study contracts. If you're dealing in contracts and you don't know how to deal in contracts, you need to study contracts.
Right. So, and I forced them to give me the full lease, like you said. And so, and the full lease, like, I don't really see shit in there that it does anything for me either. And that's why I wrote that addendum. I can't wait to see what happens with this because it's been so long since I got in a motherfucker's ass like this on the legal part. Trust me.
It feels good. It feels good.
You get this natural. I promise you it's running in us. We don't play any of this shit.
I'll be sitting here like, oh, they lied to me again? Well, be out tonight. You will have your response. Like,
shit.
Wow. It's like that.
And when you read that book on how I clobbered every bureaucratic something or other, it's written in the temperament that we're speaking in now. She was just having a field day going through correcting all kinds of fuckeries that institution was doing to people and didn't know about it. All on her job and shit. She was quitting her job
in that business law book.
Oh my God! Like, she don't even need that motherfucking job, and she was a nurse. She straight up quit that shit. Like, I got my work cut out right here.
In that business law book, one of the very first things they say is that basically law is just your ability to impose your will on somebody else. That's all it is. That's why my mom is going to have a problem because law is being a bully. You either bully or you get bullied, and if you can't bully, you get bullied.
Even in religion, I self-law am master, or however the fuck it go. I'm not Muslim, but the Allah is telling you I am the master, or Islam rather. I self-law am master. We are masters of the law. The government is not does not have sovereignty over us. And yes, Nathaniel Bay, I would slap the fuck out of them. And they know. And you really don't want me getting back into the habit of slapping these bitches down because I
know. The more you read, the more you finna feel like I need to slap somebody.
And I can't wait to hook up with you.
Y'all are for real violating on a whole different level. Like, it goes so much deeper than most people understand. Like, it's crazy, man. And y'all will violate to my face and expect me to just take it with a Coke and a smile.
Right. Oh no, you gonna see? I'll hurry up and tell them I'll see your ass in court.
Like, yeah.
It's gonna go. Oh, yeah. Don't nobody ever do it.
Yep. That's why.
I swear to God.
That's the issue my mom is having right now is most people threaten, but most people don't go through with it. So they're not going to even entertain you.
All of my jobs.
Willing to go through with it.
All of them get sued. All of them. At one point, it was in a row. Bam, 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 bam. I stayed on unemployment.
I can imagine how many times they hear the words, I'm going to sue you, but nothing ever happened.
Right. Well, I'm sure I taught a whole bunch of companies here. When that black chick says she's going to do it, she's going to do it. You should not be calling me in the office to ask me why don't I quit. Like, what are you, stupid? Why don't you fire me? How they gonna call me in? They hunted me down first. It was the Hyatt. The Hyatt hunted me down. Finally got a message to my aunt, and they was like, they want you to call. And I'm like, why? I haven't been to work in like a week. They want me to come in. So it's official. Okay, when I come in, I'm coming with the union. You know that, right? What union? Oh. No, you had a union? Nobody else there knows either.
You'll learn today.
You know why? Because
it's right here.
Listen, it's the union's rules that they can't pass out their little punk ass pamphlets. That's why don't nobody here know. That's why you've been treated like Kizzy or some shit. And I'm like, why are you letting her talk to you like that? Look. I promise you, I'm gonna write a book about the adventures of me in the workforce. It's gonna be funny as hell and all true, and they're all gonna end with a lawsuit.
Yep.
Shit, I come in like, oh, oh, like yeah. Don't try to sneak nothing on me. Don't try to erase your racist ass. Shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
Them right away. You don't want a problem with me later on.
You start going into the upper classes, they don't fight, they don't shoot, they don't do that, they sue you.
They don't. Each time, yeah, the first meeting it just be a few dicks. Second meeting it'd be 5 dicks. Third meeting is 8 all the way up to the president. I'm
Yep.
nice for you to come and see me.
That's an intimidation, trying to get you to back
Why
down.
is it that serious? Why is it that serious?
Why this dude called my mom yelling at her, talking about you can't do this. What are you, mom? Hang up on that man. Don't stress yourself out for a motherfucker who don't mean shit. He don't know what the hell he talking about. As a matter of fact, that's a violation. You should have recorded him so you could sue him for it.
Oh,
On that man, don't let him stress you out. Like,
and if you tell them, yeah, I'm gonna be recording too. Guess what? They gonna hang up on your ass.
just be like, when they ask for you, be like, I'm an authorized representative. They go get off the phone real quick. Who? I can't talk to you. I can't talk to you. Look, you're not on here.
Yes.
That's really what you need to do is after you get all your stuff, go to your accounts and add yourself as the authorized representative. Add yourself as the beneficial owner to all your accounts. That'll switch it from a commerce account to a consumer account being used for personal use. So then you should start getting bills that say you don't have to pay and this is already paid for and this is already pre-taken care of, but you just got to get it set up so they recognize you in that capacity.
Right. Yeah.
That was good.
And
that
then
was
all you need is balls and gumption.
Yep.
Them because they know they fictitious. They know they kangaroo courts.
You don't even need that because you don't have to explain yourself to anyone except for a lawyer or a judge. So if they're calling you, asking you questions, I sent you a letter. Read the letter. Did you read the letter? No, you didn't read the letter. Well, let me send you another letter. Here it goes. You got an email address. I'll forward you this letter. Everything that I want done is in this letter. Like I'm not talking to you. I'm not sitting here listening to you tell me what I can and can't do. I'm not sitting here listening to you make up stories and tell me how I'm gonna get in trouble and stuff. It's all in the letter. Read the letter and do what the letter say. If you refuse to do what the letter say, then I will move forward with my steps and you'll be hearing from me. Mm-hmm. Don't argue, don't fight. It's not personal, it's business. This is how it is. You violate me, this is what it's gotta do. I gave you a chance to fix it and you ain't want to, so we gotta go here. No, we're here now.
Yeah, I got a temper with mine. You better watch yourself. I'll knock that computer on the floor.
I had to stop because they use that to get off the phone with you. Like they'll if you start cussing at them and you get loud, they'll hold on, buddy. I don't take less, and then they'll hang up on you, and you just gave them the fuel to hang up on you. Other than that, if you talk calm, I can sit here and talk as wet to you as possible, and you gotta listen to me the entire time. Because if you hang up on me, you go get in trouble. But once you start cussing at them, yelling, and they go click.
I wish I had your patience, nephew. I ain't got no tolerance for them bitches. No.
I believe in just asking questions. Like I know what your answer is going to be, so I'm gonna ask you specific questions. So you have to admit to what I'm saying.
Right.
Then when you come back and be like, no, I didn't mean, you're lying now. So which one is it? Which one is it, bro? Because you just agree with me now. You're saying I can't do it. Like it don't. Like I call Navy Federal to try to set up my ETF payments. And this lady is like, we don't do ETF payments like that. Yes, the fuck you do, lady. Yes, you do. You're an intermediated bank. You do exactly ETF payments. Right now, if I gave you a credit card and told you to pull money off that credit card, you will pull money off. That's an ETF payment. You have the capability of allowing me to pay out of my Social Security account. Matter of fact, I've already paid like $20,000 off. I just need your bank to authorize it to go through and stop blocking it and resetting it. But she got, oh, sir, you can't use that language with me. Oh, I'm going to hang up. Click. Oh, this bitch.
Yeah, and all time they've been writing notes in their little punk ass computer. So when you call back and ask for their supervisor, they already know the deal. It's like
that'd be the first thing. What notes?
They're not even challenging anymore. They just whimper out and.
Yep. That'd be the very first thing I ask. What notes do you see on my account? Oh, you don't see nothing? Well, I wrote this letter. If you got an email address, I can send it to you. You want to try to get an email address or direct contact, because most of these companies won't give you an email address, because you don't have to mail shit if you can email it.
Right.
Like electronic transmission is instant and it's the same. It has the same principles. You don't have to mail it if you can email it. So most places won't give you an email nowadays, or they email you from those places that say this is unmonitored. If you respond, we will not respond back to you because it's unmonitored. So as soon as somebody called, the first thing I ask, let me get an email from you so I can shoot you some paperwork. They'll give it to me, and now you're my contact. Now everything that I get is coming to that email address, bro. You are. If I sue anybody, your name is going to be on it. You just became the contact by contacting me. I appreciate you.
Okay, and that reminds me, because I told you a little bit about this case that I'm getting ready to file for a customer. Okay, so the judge who decided in that case to give that child to a non-family member, I'm thinking about, we look at it as like the court did this. The court can't do anything. It's not a real person. That judge
you want to sue the judge. You want to sue the court because they have the bond on the state.
Right.
Like most officials have sovereign immunity, and you can't really sue them if they were inside the duties of their oath and their job that's described. So you would end up suing the state.
Okay, but she made that decision and she caused the state to be sued.
But it's still, they try to give them leeway to be able to make mistakes. So sovereign immunity basically on that state, on the government level, means that you can't be held liable for anything that you do while you're doing your duties unless that act is grossly negligent or something like that. You would have to prove that she wasn't acting within her capacity. Because if
she wasn't, and I have the documents.
She wasn't supposed to do it.
I'm gonna shoot you the documents too, so you can take a good look.
What I'm saying is, she made a decision that is in her legal right to make. She just shouldn't have made it on that case. So you violated because you shouldn't have did it on this case. So
right, so why did you do it on this case? Becomes the question.
It's just a matter if they're gonna let you remove the sovereign immunity for it. You can put a lien straight on him. You can put a lien straight on him.
Because the judge is the one who violated the act.
You can put a lien directly on the judge.
And let that child not be with his parents, which causing a hardship and suffrage for the grandmother on all kinds of levels. And there's no reason to have done that, because the practice of the state is for that child to go to its next of kin if someone petitions the court for him. So why didn't you do that?
You can sue. It's a case. This is a definite case. It's just if it's going to land on him directly or if it's going to land on the state. So either way, it's a case. Either way, she should get some money for it. Like, she was wrong, so she should win either way. It might not affect the judge. It might just hit the state. Now, if you find out who owns his bond, you can complain to them. They'll probably suspend his bond. I know they suspend cops' bonds within 24 hours.
Yes, because I want her to. It's a she, and I want her to feel it. Because you did this out of for no good reason, none. It wasn't in the best interest of the child or nothing, because that child had siblings.
Yep.
The siblings is already with the grandmother. You know this. The child the mother told the court, I want my child with the grandmother. And the court, all on their own, is going to decide to say, no, the child is good where she's at. They had a social worker come in and be like, yeah, she has it good there. No reason to move her. Bitch, yes, there is a reason to move her, because her grandmother wants custody of her. So we're going to see where this goes.
That's what the most important thing for people with kids is. You got to get your kids out of the system. You got to claim them. You got to claim them on the record. You claim them, you run something in the newspaper for 1 day, for 4 weeks, 1 day a week, basically claiming them as your heirs. and then take it and get it registered. The newspaper should give you an affidavit. Take that affidavit, get it notarized, and get it registered on the national documents. So now when they come talking that shit, hey, this ain't my kids. This is my heirs. You don't have any type of interest right here whatsoever. Because if you don't, you leave them open.
That's right. To the system.
Yep, to the system that can do whatever they want to. Literally, you just gave somebody kid away. You gave somebody kid away. What?
And on it, she had to go to the appellate courts to get the child back.
You can get her kid back, not her car, not her phone.
It was the appellate courts that said that the court erred and made them reverse that decision immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Bitch, that's damage.
That's damage. She gonna get paid. She should get paid for that.
Right. She should, but she didn't go get a lawyer. She called me. Because she already knows.
Lawyer too.
She already. A lawyer is only gonna take your case after you get probable cause. A lawyer, those fucking scary ass bitches. I wouldn't fuck with them until I got a probable cause. That's what I've learned.
Yeah, they're not gonna want to go up against the government.
And the lawyers, all the lawyers that I had in my lawsuits, I had to tell them what to do. Like I was in mediation at one time, and the people that I was suing wanted to settle right then and there, and I said no, I'm gonna need an extra so and so grand, right? So I said let's call them, the people who contract over the people who did the wrong to me, and let's tell them we're in court right now. And she's giving me all this law about how you can't sue somebody you don't work for. Call them and say we're in mediation right now. We can get this thing over with. Give me this amount. This company is going to put in this. You put in that, and we're done. Bitch went and called them, and guess what? It was over that day.
Yeah.
I had a check from
you can sue anybody.
A check for them that we couldn't sue faster than the check. Yeah. The motherfucker
you can sue anybody. Like,
you had to tell lawyers. They're so fucking scary. Oh my god.
Like, you can sue anybody you want to, man. Ain't no laws on suing people. Now, if you frivolously sue somebody, you can get fucked up. They can counterclaim and sue you back. Right. But you can sue whoever you want to for whatever reason you want to. Yeah. It just depends on if they know the law and they know how to get you back if you mess up.
And it's just, at my point, it was just a claim. It ain't even a lawsuit yet. Like, like, just tell them, when your government, check it out. When your government subsidized, you don't want no racials, no sexual complaints. You don't want none of that on your record because it's like auditing yourself. And who the fuck wants the government to come in and start looking at this shit? Yeah, write it up. I don't fucking play with them bitches. I promise you.
Neither. I'll send IRS after you, bro. I'll send every government. I'll file a complaint with everybody. If only just to make your day worse. I ain't got nothing to do today, so I'm gonna spend all day filing complaints with different agencies so that you get a whole shit ton of emails. Like, stop playing with me. I don't have nothing else to do but battle you. And that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna battle you every day. Every day I wake up to write letters and sue people. Like, it's what it is. That's till I get it fixed, till I get it rectified. And then once I get it rectified, I know how to enter in contracts now. So I shouldn't have to deal with that anymore.
Oh my God, you should
already know. All rights reserved, my guy. Why did you sign that?
You should have seen the initial look on my face when your mom was telling me what you was doing. When I first had her call you, I'm looking like, are you what? Shawn is girl. Call him, and boom, out of that, we still here.
I'm surprised because I had been trying to get her to do it for a while, and I was just talking. She didn't take an interest in it until you said something about it.
Right.
And she took an interest in it, but
right. We put you on the show the same night it happened. I called Taz. Same night. Like shit. Like what? Oh shit! Because I knew what that had to mean. No, you ain't on no bullshit.
Yep.
Oh hell yeah!
It's doable to me. It's like this is the ultimate right here. Like it's literally nothing else I can do that can give me the power that this is going to give me. There's no job you can work that's going to give you the satisfaction that this is going to give you once you get it. Right. So To me,
Right,
it's like don't nothing else really. I ain't gonna say don't nothing else really matter, but this is the most important thing to me right now.
right, right.
Get what
Because
you want.
you know, it all comes down to what your documentation skills are.
Mm-hmm.
If you can document a letter precisely as it should be, you're actually ruling. Because
Yep.
it's the pen and paper that runs this country.
Yep.
It's
And really,
documentation.
if you write it in your own hand, it's stronger than you type it because then it's showing that a natural person did it because a computer can't write with hand.
That's
So
right.
it's a bunch of little things that they do to switch it and tweak it and
Uh-huh.
so you don't know. And then it's
Oh
be
yeah.
act from 1927 that you ain't never heard of. That this explains the whole process, but you ain't
Right.
never heard of it because it was decades ago.
Right.
It's,
It's,
yeah, it's crazy. It's cool though.
it
I'm
really is. And
I'm enjoying it.
thank you for coming and update. Anybody who is still feeling some kind of way only needs to rerun the videos that we've already done on UCC and credit and standing up for your rights and what your straw man is. I told you we're gonna tackle this thing till we all get it.
Yeah.
We got time. I know I got time. Uh,
If you're not scared to sue the credit bureaus, you could have a 750 credit score within the next 60 days.
damn.
You got on it,
Let's go,
bankruptcy, all
Chad.
that stuff. Like it's not supposed to be on there. All you got to do is sue them and let them know to take it off, and they're gonna take it off.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't report them. And every time I report them, just sue them again. Sue them again, make them take it off. Just keep going.
Mhm. Wow.
All of it. It's
Gonna be
all
a
crazy.
whole bunch of that being done.
It's all crazy.
whole
Don't
bunch of
forget to opt out from the other 4 credit bureaus.
Yeah.
Make sure you do them too, because you don't have a contract with them. They're reporting your shit, and they're not supposed to.
Facts.
Oh
Facts.
yeah. Oh yeah. We got forms and names of forms now. We can at least start practicing and start getting in the habit of
Mhm.
not fighting back, but at least standing up for your rights.
Mhm.
Get in the habit of it.
The more you read these laws and you understand, it's gonna start making you mad because you're gonna start seeing
Yeah.
what they're doing to you.
How much you've been bamboozled.
Yeah, how it's really supposed to work, and how everything is supposed to be free, and you're supposed to live the exact life that you want to live. Most people can't.
Right. And it makes me think that these these secret societies are so secret about this stuff because they know that they can get away with violating us if we don't know anything. And so
Anything that you want to do needs to be done in the private because once you put it in the public, now everyone can see. If you do it in the private, no one knows until it gets done. So that's all these secret societies. They're private organizations. No one knows anything about them. Half
Right.
the members don't even know each other.
right. That's right.
That's what the thing with black people now. They push black people to be flashy and be out in the camera, so you more likely to tell on yourself on Instagram than anything. Well, no great movement is going to be done over social media.
Right. You got that right.
Mm-hmm.
You got that right. But for those who hold steadfast and appreciate being sovereign, appreciate not having a government over them, and don't want to be fucking with that kind of shit, then you're on the right channel.
Yep. Definitely. When I get my nation set up, I'll definitely come and talk about that too.
Oh yeah.
I need that diplomatic immunity. That's gonna be. I plan on traveling. You mean I can travel anywhere and the cops can't do nothing to me nowhere?
Nope.
Only thing you can do is send me back to the U.S.
Right.
Ooh.
Which
Ooh.
they don't want to do that.
Ooh.
That's what they don't want to do.
They ain't got no choice because then when you get into international law, you get into the UN and the UN statutes. So that's when you start sending letters to the UN. Now y'all got a problem. Because I got nations coming after you. It ain't just the UN, United States government. It's the United States plus the UN. All the other countries is coming after you now because you're violating a national peace treaty. Woo.
Right.
So I can't wait for that. It's just it's coming. It's coming.
You're definitely touching a lot of people, brother. I wanna take the time to to give you your praise, your flowers and thanks. Because many people are not doing what you're doing. Well, let me rephrase that. Many people are doing what you're doing, but they're charging for the information, and that's one of the aspects that that got me so intrigued about you, because your willingness to share the information for the benefit of humanity itself, not because you are this, you are that, because your family, or because you gave me $50, or because you donated to something or whatever. Although I am gonna say that we do accept donations. The brother works hard and donates his time. Feel free to hit him up on his cash app. But we got Amon the lead that wants to say thank you to all who share important information such as this. And I'm never gonna know your name, brother. You've been around a while. My apologies if I ever get to speak to you. Please come up here. The link is in the chat. Bring your ass on up here and tell me how in the living hell do I pronounce your name, please. But he said he's gonna have to rewatch this one. He hates that he
Do it.
missed it and he gives his
Share it.
son.
Share it and like it when you do.
Yeah, most definitely. Nathaniel Bay says Sean hasn't disappointed. Thanks for enlightening us. And like I said, brother, is the information is always on point. Like we tell everybody, it's not financial advice. It's just a process that he's doing himself. He's going through this process himself, and he's sharing his journey with you. Give him praise and thanks for that at least. You ain't got to do nothing else but at least say thank you. You could say thank you by hitting the subscribe button, by sharing the show, by going to his TikTok and start following him on TikTok. That's something that doesn't cost you anything. Just go and look him up at Boss Mafia LLC. It's so much information out there. I think you said I am Sauce is your Instagram.
I got
Hey,
the sauce.
I got the sauce. I got the sauce. My apologies. So
and put this Cash App back up there.
oh yeah, yeah, most definitely. So it's a lot of information out there that 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 a lot of people are doing what the system is doing to us and trying to benefit of the fact that I know this and you don't. You want to know this? You got what you got to give me.
Mhm.
I got to come up because you probably didn't get the information for free, and I understand that. But unless unless we want humanity to stay stagnant in the same place that we're in, we're never
Mhm.
going to move forward that way. I appreciate you because
That's
of what
cool.
you do. I asked everybody if they have any questions for Sean. This is your time. We're going on 2.5 hours. Tribe ties to the building. Peace and love to the brother. Always big thank. You want to give some closing statements, Sister Yasini, or do you want to add something?
Yeah, I'd just like to add, thank everybody who was here for this live. I know we didn't give you much notice, but that's because we didn't have much notice. There was some extra magic in the game today. So thanks, Sean, for being there for us once again. And you developing subscribers of your own whenever you get ready to get your YouTube channel up and going, or a website or whatever. But Taz, you're always the greatest host, so I give you the most.
Thank you, appreciate that. You want to add something else, Sean? Want-
I would just say pretty much just get in the habit of reading. I mean, it's a long journey. Just stay in it. Um, I started off paying people for information too. I just spent over $3,000 on information. That information taught me things, but it didn't teach me. I didn't really start to get it until I started reading it for myself.
Hmm.
So now I don't regret spending that money because it taught me and it got me to this path. But you don't really have to pay for this information. It's free. It's
you
public.
invested in yourself.
Literally, just Google it. You don't have to buy the books. Scribe is 11.99, and it's got the UCC. It's got everything on it. It's got documents.
Right.
It's got everything. You can pull up trust documents on Scribe. You can pull up estate documents. You can pull up pretty much everything you need to on there. So,
Yeah.
yep.
sir.
It says Sean, look into Taquan X and Leo Black Wolf.
Kaquan,
Is he on YouTube? I think I follow this dude on YouTube called the Black Wolf.
It's possible, but I'm gonna definitely look him up as well.
for sure.
So we appreciate all that. Heather Bell, she's been very active with us. She's been following you, brother. She says gratitude for the information. Uh, and yeah, he says Tribe Ty says that he is in YouTube. Metal Tune,
Fuck.
thank you for
I also, I am missing some information to say, Taz. I want you to know that I have added the virtual Vegas online wedding program to my website. I also, you'll see my stamp on there because I also got my license to be a what you call it, notary, a notary. So those services are also at Yasinin University. Always look and see what Taz is adding or doing new on Yasinin University on the Taz Studio Productions. Always look and see what I've added to the website because right now we, this money situation ain't stable, and whatever they're gonna try to do to the digital money or whatever, it seemed like we're finding out that we've got more choices than we've ever had before. And so while the queen is dead and some things are going to change naturally because of that, also the information that we're gathering by doing little panels like this and whatever social media that we got going on, we too can make choices of where this new world order is going to actually go. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's be on our P's and Q's. Let's always be learning. Let's be reading, and let's start trying to unite more.
most
Yep.
definitely, most
MC
definitely.
love it. He has a great YouTube channel. He talks about a lot of this stuff. He just all his videos are short and concise. It's like 10 minutes. It's not too long. He breaks down a lot. It's a great informational channel. Talks about everything from nationality to just a bunch of stuff. I think I actually started with him on my journey here.
Yep.
That's actually when I get to a point where I'm ready to do. He started his own micro mini nation. I think it's called like Tanzania or something like that. So when I get ready to start my nation, I'm probably gonna end up paying him for a consultation just to brush up on everything I need to know about it.
These are the two books that I'm reading right now, and there's a third one, the Straw Man one. But this is in Task Alchemy Shop under books, and this is the kind. And these books, look how thin they are. There's not a lot. You probably can read these in like 3 or 4 bathroom settings. Take it with you to the reading room and just read a little bit at a time, grasp it, and then you'll have the eye-opening questions for Sean because he'll be back. He'll be back.
Yeah, definitely back.
Most
Write down some questions if y'all got them. If y'all need some more help, we'll definitely be back.
Most definitely. Well, with that said, we appreciate you, son. We appreciate you, sis, for always allowing us, to because was it not for you, we wouldn't even know about Sean, so give you your praise as well, because you're always willing to share the information. You're always on point. Um, I don't see anybody else asking any more questions. So if that's the thing, unless we want to add something, go ahead, sis.
No, I don't want to add anything. I'm ready to go. I promised to make my man a banana pudding 2 days ago.
Banana
2
pudding.
days ago, boom, I'm gonna give you props. You said 2 days ago.
I know. He don't even want to talk to me now. He didn't even say hi when he walked in.
Don, for the matriarch thing that we do, or the return of the divine family, remember that part, and make sure that you mention it to her. You know, when she's talking all that shit.
We gonna ask. We gonna,
So you
we
are
gonna, we
watching.
gonna do a show. It's gonna be me, Taz, and Moan, and we just gonna discuss things.
Yeah. Patriarch style.
Most definitely. But thank you everybody for joining us. We love you. You, as you know, this is the Taz and Yassini show, and
Oh,
we are very thankful to have you here. And we're gonna leave you guys the same exact way that we came, in peace, peace and
Peace.
love.
Till
yes,
next
sir.
time.
Yes, sir.